Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Pies Presser. I now officially declare that the off-season is well and truly in motion. It's time to talk all things black and white. Here we are. We are into the next phase of 2025. We can put the Brownlow past us now. We can put the season past us, and we can put our eyes onto the future and see what 2026 brings us. Do I lack a bit of energy when I say something like that? Looking forward to the future and whatnot. Maybe because the season's just finished, and it's, you think about how far away the start of next season is, and how long and how hard it is to get to where we were just last Saturday. So I try to say it with a smile on my face, with great eagerness, which naturally that will come eventually, but right now you just can't fake the emotions, can you? That's what I've learned. So look, we got plenty that we can talk about. Welcome all to those who are in the stream nice and early. We're going to talk about, as the title suggests, we're going to talk about list management. We can talk about trade options, free agency, draft. It's going to be an open floor. And then we can even talk about the Brownlow if you want. We finished that quite abruptly last night, didn't we? So we will do that. But maybe I can kick things off, and then we will go from there. But maybe we want to talk about the elephant in the room, and that is the Jamie Elliott and Brody Myercheck conversation. Someone brought to my attention yesterday that Myercheck was crying after the game, the prelim. And I didn't see that, because as soon as that final siren went, I left my family's house because I didn't need to see the aftermath. I got to the final siren just to go down with it with the boys that were on the field and stick it out. And then once the final siren was done, I didn't need to see anything more. So I saw that. So is that simply just an indication that Myercheck is done? Maybe it's a combination of emotions. The fact that he was dealing with an injury that clearly hampered him, and obviously an emotional roller coaster that the last 8 weeks have been. And then you throw on top, maybe that is the writing on the wall for Myercheck. That is Myercheck essentially just couldn't hold in his emotions, and that says he's on his way out. Benny Zero, bro, I made 2 spreadsheets today with my best 23 for next year, with what we already have, and one with what we might have. Needed to inject some positivity into my Pies projections. Had Elliott staying. Oh, that's good. Well, tell me, Benny, who did you have in and who did you have out? I've obviously made a video on that yesterday, so I'll share that in a moment so we can have a look at and go from there. And that's where we're at, aren't we? So without further ado, let's open this up. So we have this here. Did I cook something here or not? I've got all these screens open, and I think this was where we finished. So this is the video that, or the stream. This is the stream, or the video that I made yesterday regarding where we may finish. Now we can start fresh and do one here. So now we know Silvani's not in the picture. So that's where we are right now. So I'll leave that there for a second. You can have a look at that. That's where we're at right now. Exit meetings were done yesterday and today, apparently, says Peter G. Okay. Did we hear anything on Twitter? And we can talk about, this is funny, just quickly. I don't really care. I get to play in the grand final next week, says Dan Zorko. He provided a similar scenario, which is kind of funny, but I'm not going to give it too much airtime. But he says, if a 7-foot guy comes running at you in the streets, what are you going to do? Well, my friend Dane Zorko, you are protected by the 4 gentlemen in green uniform when somebody comes to attack you on the field, and the player, being Mason Cox, is obviously not going to punch you. He's just going to push you. So this is such a dumb comparison, but we move. Anyways, it's not the streets. It's not the streets, you goose. So we go back to here. So that's what we're seeing here. Mello, welcome. Dom, Dom, hi Anthony. Currently away on a work trip. Get back Thursday. No dramas. Enjoy your work trip if that's possible. But yeah, hope you're well. Where did Bob say that, Void? What did Void say? Let's see. Bobby said he wants to play. Oh, so John Ralph Teresa said the other day that at this point in time, his family's in Melbourne. However, if his kids were to relocate to Western Australia, that must be a consideration for them to go for Bobby to return back to Western Australia with them. Mello, welcome to Champai, my friend. Welcome. Another one into the club. I appreciate you. John Ralph said on the couch, correct. Any decisions made by Checkers and Elliott won't be known until after the Copeland. And when is the Copeland, guys? When is the Copeland? Look, if we look at this, where we landed after all the movements yesterday in the video, you have Maya Check who's outgoing. And obviously hopefully we keep Elliott on the list. But that's the final picture. These are some other players here in Blight and Laverde that you can consider. But you're looking at players like, you got Steve-O. So somebody told me, I do need to adjust this. Somebody told me that Ned Long and Lockie Sullivan can be on the list. They can be on the rookie list for another year. They can serve up to 3 years on the rookie list. So with that in mind, because we're at rookie A's here, so we can change this. Let me just update this. Rookie A Long and Rookie A Sullivan, and then Parker as well can remain on the rookie. I think he goes to rookie A from rookie B. Where are you, Parker? Parker. Here we go. Parker. We'll just say rookie A for the sake of it. So what we do here is we take 2 off the primary list and we go 2 on the rookie list. So we're at capacity for our rookies, right? If any of this doesn't make sense, let me know, okay? What's Gary saying? Gary, I hear that Elliott has told Collingwood he wants to go to Gold Coast. That's not true from what we're hearing. Gold Coast are ready. They basically said if Jamie Elliott says jump, they'll say how high. They will offer him potentially a 3-year contract at $500K. So we're offering 2 years at $500K. Their offer will be better than ours by another year, if that's the case. Josh says, to be honest, if Elliott left, I would play side bottom forward pocket, easily kick 30 to 40 goals. Let's just play more youth on the wing like Rowan Steele. I don't love that idea. Obviously, it doesn't sound like you're comparing Elliott and side bottom as if they're apples. But 30 to 40 goal. I know side bottom has a knack for finding goals. You can't say losing Jamie Elliott and then putting side bottom in that position is gonna solve that, fill that absence that Elliott would leave. Elliott kicked how many goals, guys? What are you kicking in? 60 goals for the year? SEN. Gary, when did you hear that? When did you hear that? The thing is about losing Jamie Elliott. Okay, it's one thing to lose Brody Myercheck, Teresa, but if you lose Elliott, you're not going to get any compensation for him. You're not going to get any compensation for Jamie Elliott. So that's why you just, like a player of his caliber, you just have to squeeze the lemon until there's no juice left. You can't let him walk to Gold Coast for nothing. Elliott has got to be worth $750. So at age 33, look, it doesn't seem like other clubs are going to give him any more than that, any more than 500 either, Dom. Considering Gold Coast are offering 500, 1.5 over 3 years makes that 500, plus maybe some incentives. Maybe that gets him up to 600 a year if he hits certain quotas. But it doesn't sound like clubs are going to spill the bank open for him. Elliott will only kick 30 to 40 next year. Still good. I'd say he's able to apply more pressure than a side bottom as well. And side bottom doesn't offer that aerial dynamic. Like the way, and he's got sticky hands. Still, side bottom doesn't have sticky hands. He doesn't have aerial capacity. And if we don't think about it like this, we have Jack Buller, And what could he be? We will find out. But to have Jamie Elliott who can mark above his head and can sit on players' shoulders, it makes us look a little bit taller than what we are in that forward line. You know what I'm saying? Rick says, if Elliott leaves, it sucks, but not the end of the world. It allows someone else to step up, as Elliott foiled a lot of our other forwards the way he plays. It's just it's not an easy one, is it? So it does sound like we probably have to up our contract offer to Elliott. Now, does he wants a lot? Like my question, maybe I put a poll. Would you give Elliott more? Would you give Elliott 2-year contract on, let's say, $600K per year? Or would you give him 3 years at $500K? Or maybe 3 years... Yeah, maybe those are the two options. I think those are our best options. So go here. What have I done? Come on, let me add the poll. Get rid of that. Yeah. I'm just going to have to... Sorry, guys. The poll's doing funny buggers on me. Just bear with me. I'll make this bigger. Wait, why can't I start the poll? It's like... There we go. Start poll. And then we chuck her in there. So the question is, if you were list management, would you give Jamie Elliott 2-year contract on 600 or 3 years at 50? Yeah, Benny, slide into my DMs, brother. You got 3 votes last night for that. You get another 3 tonight. Rat Mal. Oh my God. What did I just say? He's cooked my brain. I just said Rat Mal. He lives in my head rent free. This year has cooked me. That is disgusting. Anyways. Use Lipinski and Allen as trade bait and look for a midfielder who can tag. Well, why can't Harry Perriman be that guy? Why can't we look internally for that first? Daniel. And Lipinski, what do you constitute as trade bait? Because I think Lipinski's maybe worth a second-round draft pick, and Ed Allen hasn't established himself at AFL level yet. So once again, what type of trade value you're going to get out of him? You almost it's much more worth sticking with Ed Allen for another season, see out his contract, and see what happens there. Dom says 3 years I think is too long. 2 years 650K is fair on everyone's. Sense it, bro. Time to get torn apart. All right. 3 votes. Rat Mal. Fucking hell. Cooked. McCreary wants to spend his pre-season building his tank more to be a full-time mid. Where did we see this, Mello? Where did we see this? I've been keeping my eye out for news on Collingwood today, but we didn't have much coming out. Yeah, this guy's a joker. He's an absolute joker, isn't he? Anything in Ugle-Hagan to the Pies, asks Coach TV. Gosh, I mean, great player, obviously. There's nothing that suggests he's going to Collingwood. But I'm thinking, would we? Would we? Depends on his value, but I think he's gone. It seems like he's gone down quite the rabbit hole with his lifestyle, and he's putting himself in dangerous positions, it seems. So I don't know. That's a risky one. Like if Stephen May bothers you and Jaden Stevenson bothers you, then to what level and what degree does a Ugle-Hagan bother you? He's obviously a gun. Yesterday, Manny, I'm giving him 3 years, 700. You're lost at Manny. 3 years at 700. Cigare. Us the jokes. Wouldn't Lipper be a possibility to use as leverage to go after a big player like Kerno? I like the thought there, stranger. Certainly. That's a great thought because Carlton need outside players. Who knows? Maybe that's something that generates. I don't mind that, stranger. Trade Dacos brothers for a lot of picks. Come on, Raymond. Come on now. Oh, that's your opinion, Mello. Okay, sorry. Yep. Yeah, I agree. Hopefully his body can hold up. Absolutely. Who said? Somebody said. There was some joker here. Was it Mikali? He said we'll build a nightclub next to the Vitality Centre to help lure Ugle-Hagan over to the Collingwood Football Club. I died. If Bobby didn't have problems, I would for JUH. Would take too much time for flying other clubs' resources. If I have to do. That's the thing, right? And if we bring in, say, a Stephen May who has his own issues at a much lower level, that's a lot of personalities to deal with. Robert, I'm sure. I trust he's taking the piss, Robert. I really do. It was Stewie. That's the one. Stewie Peters, Mr. Victoria Park himself. Ugle-Hagan is trouble. Should be named Useless Hagan. Peter G, with the Suns going all in for Petrarca, I'm more confident that Elliott will stay a pie until I hear something different. Once again, I mean, I don't think that changes much, Peter. I think they can get Petrarca and Elliott. Again, Elliott's only going to be on $500 a year on a 3-year contract at Gold Coast. I'm sure they can make room for that. And they got players like Ned Flanders, who's outgoing. I'm sure they've got a couple others who might be on contracts. Okay, so if Elliott leaves, do we get gamers into Hayes and Harvey? I think Hayes had a good first half to his VFL season and then fizzled out, which is completely natural and a part of the journey for a young kid, a skinny young bloke. I think Harvey Harrison is going to be that's a really interesting watch over the next 12 months. Harvey Harrison, but once again, I'm not putting him in the same bracket as Jamie Elliott. Do you know what I mean? Leggy. Ooh, Collingwood just delisted Charlie Dean, Oleg Markov, Ash Johnson, and Finlay McRae. Well, there you go. Here we go. McRae, Dean, AJ, and Markov. I mean, those were the more predictable ones, right? So who does that leave? That leaves Tom Mitchell. So put Tom Mitchell down here. Here we go. Put Tom Mitchell here. Question mark. Can we make space to keep Tom Mitchell on? Guys, maybe I'll make a poll for this one. Let's go. Can I change my... I'm just curious, guys. Can I change my live stream title? Nah, I won't. Not in the middle of the stream. So, hold on. Let's make a poll. Do you want to see if we can make room for Tom Mitchell on our list? If the answer is yes, we can. I mean, I'm going to do it, but I'm just curious if you guys want to see if we can make room for Tom Mitchell on. Do we want to see one? Do we want to see Tom Mitchell for one more year? Did my poll start? I don't think it did. Would you like to see Titch get one more year? If I go start poll. An error occurred. Try again. Start poll. An error occurred. Start again. All right. My poll, it is working. Okay. Anyways, I'm going to do it. I'm going to do it for the sake of this. So let's duplicate this so I don't lose that. So let's go. And I'm going to push this all the way to the top because this is where we're at the moment. Push that all the way up, my friend. Up, 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 up. And then we go down. So, okay. Give Elliott what he wants. He kicked 60 goals this year. Was the only player to get coaches' votes in both finals games. He'll also be top 5 in our Copeland Trophy. We need him. Make him a pie for life. What do you think he deserves, Jared? What does he need to all right, what does he need to play on? Titch is Tom Mitchell. All right, so this is where we're at right now. If we brought in these players. So let's say hypothetically we don't go for Steve-O. We can do this. We can do this, guys. We can do this. Very, very simple. There's every chance, guys, just looking at this, there's every chance that Tom Mitchell stays on the list, right? If we look at it like this. If we have this, we're being pragmatic about it, we can see what's right in front of us. Are you bringing in any of these three? Are you bringing in any of these three in lieu of Tom Mitchell? So say 1 in the chat if you bring one of these three in over Tom Mitchell. 2 if you'd have Tom Mitchell over all 3 of them. Because that's the question you must ask at this point. 1, if these guys should take Tom Mitchell's spot. 2, if you think Tom Mitchell keeps his spot. If Checkers goes, surely Elliott's 2 years on the money he wants. You'd prefer Steve-O? What else? I would like Steve-O to give Steve-O a chance. I think a coach like Fly could get the best out of him. I believe that as well. I believe that. And I think he's quite versatile, which fits the makeup of our team at this point in time. He's right in that sweet spot of his age. Mature. He's becoming more mature, it seems. Couple 1s, couple 2s, guys. What we're saying? 2. Okay. Mitchell gets more hardball. Why get rid of Titch? He can help long develop. I like that. Bruno, welcome from Italy. Appreciate you. Jamie Elliott and Fly have a long friendship. I don't see him leaving. I mean, sometimes money and job security is more important than just the friendship that you have at a football club, with no disrespect. Are we still making jokes from last night with Steve on the list? So we're still making jokes from last night. I mean, some people want him. Some people were saying want him. Question is, will Pendlebury want him? Will Pendlebury want Tom Mitchell or Steve-O, are you saying? We need speed? Well, isn't Steve-O speedy? And doesn't he have a tank? Doesn't he? Anthony bars up over Titch. Let it go to he's finished. I'm just saying, if we want to make space for him, we get McGuan, we get McCarthy, you still get Buller, you still get May, you get Saxoner onto the rookie list, you can keep Sullivan. There's every chance. Titch to help Long develop. If he goes, who's going to guide Long? How many 30-plus people are we going to keep? We can't keep Titch or we're West Coast in a few years. Mitchell is done. Just saying. Yeah, tutelage. I mean, if you want tutelage, maybe he could become a midfield coach or a development coach in some capacity, Tom Mitchell. But sorry, he's not going to want to retire. He's not going to want to retire. He's going to want to play on at another club. To be fair, if we brought in McStay, Hill, Titch and Frantham and won the flag. Yep. No, Titch is gone. List clogger. Titch is a VFL player. Damn. How quickly they fall, huh? Is Loney's son any good? Right. He played for the Dandenong Stingrays in his top age year this season. He wasn't in Vic Metro. He hasn't been invited to any draft combines. He won't be drafted. He might play in the VFL side next year, potentially. What do you rate the Mount Franklin line? Asks Hugh. Great question. It's like a 10 out of 10. It quenches any thirst that you have for soft drink, and it's water. So that's good. Love Titch, but his time is up, unfortunately. Might as well sign up at 150-year turtle. Manny, don't make me bring up the post-game show of you glazing Tom Mitchell, the Wombat, after the Carlton game. I got receipts, my friend. I saw Titch get knocked back at Revs Saturday after he won a Brownlow. It was cooked, so was he. I thought you said he got knocked back from Revs this Saturday just gone by. Gee whiz. Tim Van Coilenberg. I know Ash Johnson was flaky and despondent at times, but did we persist with him enough to make sure? Didn't watch him in the VFL, but he's mercurial. I'm just worried up forward next year. If we didn't have any other options, maybe you could make the case of bringing him on, keeping him on a list. But we really love the look of Charlie West, and we really like the look of Noah Howes. And then you got McCarthy, Tim, who comes in through the draft. He's a centre-half forward / ruck. He's going to be a gun by all reports and from what I've seen. I think Ash Johnson, that's always been an easy D list for mine. Oscar Loney and Doug Kerr will be rookie options for us. We'll looking at this, right? Look how many, Loney and Kerr aren't going to be on the rookie list before a Saxoner. Ilaru Smith's still on a contract. Howes is going to be rookie. Sullivan will be rookie. Rowan Steele will be rookie. Unless you want to move one of them to the primary list. No, that won't work. Well, we can just take Titch out. You could take Titch out and add a Doug Kerr or a Loney. But have they really shown enough even to be rookied? I don't know. I'm not entirely sure. Ash Johnson is just lazy. Chris Talbot, welcome. Elliott, chronological. Jamie, 3 years on 500k. Just do the deal. I wonder why we're waiting so long. So again, when is the Copeland Trophy? And why are we waiting? Why do we wait for that to happen? Do they wait for that? What is the reason? AJ is not the answer. Correct, Darren. I agree. I watched True Footy talk about Pies today. Even those guys say Cliff isn't coming, maybe miss finals for a year or two, but Collingwood is too big of a club to not attract players. Destination club. Geelong are the perfect blueprint. We're literally following the same timeline that they've been on. Won a flag, didn't make finals, made a prelim, and now they're in a grand final. We won a flag, didn't make finals. We played a prelim this year. There's every reason there's every reason to believe that we will stay in contention. And if we fall out for a year, fine, so be it. But I don't think we're going to bottom out like a West Coast or a North Melbourne or an Essendon. Let me have a look at Ben Zero's Discord message. He's put together some team predictions with the current team and without. It's probably rendered obsolete though now because of the players that got delisted, no? Benny full working the... Have a look at this. Benny Zero full cooking up on the spreadsheets. Here we go. Pies best 23 in 2026 with what we have. Howe, Reef McInnes, Frampton, Maynard, Quaynor, Moore, Houston, yep. Nakos, Cameron Jacos, Perryman, DeGoey, Rowan Steele. Schultz, McStay, R2, Ruck 2, okay. I don't know about Ruck 2 though. I don't know if Abyss. Do you think if McStay is in our team next year, which I'm sure he'll play at least 15 games or 10 games next season. I don't think he's going to be R2. I don't think he's going to play that second ruck role. Do you guys think maybe that's a good poll? That's a good poll question. Let's do that. Start a poll. Will McStay ruck next year? Yes or no? Or should he? Maybe the question is, should McStay ruck next year? How about that for a question? I reckon that's a good one. So let's continue this. Harvey Harrison, Jamie Elliott, West Membry, Bobby Hill, Pendles as a halfback, side bottom forward, which I like this. You've got to move these two players into different positions to allow some space in the midfield for a Josh Dacos and for a Beau McCreary. So I like that. Crisp wing. I wouldn't mind seeing Crisp in the back line at some point as well. Genuine depth. Will they play games? Lipinski, okay. Lipinski will be fighting Rowan Steele, I'm sure. West Membry House, Sullivan, Hayes. Steen, Cox. Steen's going to be an interesting one. Parker, Jaff. Yeah, there's some players. Out. Hyphen, Checkers, Dean, McRae, Johnson, Markov, Mitchell. Phase out, Pendles, side bottom, Howe, Cox. Phase out, 27, Elliott, Membry, McStay. I like this, Benny. This is meticulous. This is very, very, you've thought well ahead, mate. This is good. This is good stuff, mate. I'm doing the business card right now. I'm looking at my one, Benny. I'm looking at my one, and then I go over yours. I'm doing the American Psycho business card gif right now. That's what you got me doing, Benny. 136 viewers, welcome. Guys, if you're not subscribed, you're new to the channel, we will be here for the off season. So if you're looking to get your pies fix or somewhere while there's no footy to watch, then this is the place to be. Cox has triggered a new deal, apparently. Interesting, Mello. What'd he do? Where's this now? Mello's coming out with all their headlines right now. All right. By the way, for those who are tuning in now, 4 delistings: Markov, Johnson, McRae, and Charlie Dean. Unfortunate, isn't it? Okay, so 2026, Pies best 23 with incoming possibilities. Yep. Howe, May, love that. Yep, cool. Nakos, Cameron, Jacos, Steele, DeGoey, Pez, Shooter, McStay. What was the question? So, by the way, most of you are saying no to McStay being the second ruck next year, which is good. I'm glad that we agree. Schultz, McStay, Harrison, Elliott, West, Buller, Hill, Pendle, Sidey, yep. Allen, McGuan, Lipinski. Where's McCarthy? Benny, gotcha. I got you. Where's Zach McCarthy, Benny? Huh? He literally gonna be our first draft pick in this year. I gotcha. Gotcha, buddy. The jumper changed to the ruck role. All I can think about is Dan McStay knees if he's our backup ruckman and the issues that he has had along the journey. Yeah. Yep. Agreed. Comes in handy. Cox comes in handy for the new ruck rules. Wait, explain to me. Are there new ruck rules for next season? I thought this year, not that they were new rules, but you just couldn't jump into each other. So what's the rule? Do they have to jump now in a ruck or something? Mick says, I'm happy with Cox. 1 more year. He showed in the last 2 games he can be serviceable. Agreed. Especially with my check out. Di Mattia in the midfield, yes. Is Di Mattia here? Benny, where is Harry Di Mattia? Oh boy. You've given me a draft copy, have you? You want me to grade you on this? Am I missing something? Di Mattia. Oh boy. Have I got Di Mattia here myself? Have I got Di Mattia here? No. Have I done it as well? Oh no, I've got him. Hold on. Calm down. Can't kick. Di Mattia not going to play either. Jeez. Nah, Di Mattia is exciting. And I agree. His kicking is going to be a question mark. Note the asterisk at the top. All right, hold on. So far. Okay. In case you were wondering. So far. Oh. So far. Just in case you were wondering. Asterisk. I got it now. Asterisk. I figured it out. I know I can now pronounce it. Thank you. N25. What does that mean, Bruno? No Ryan or Cochrane either. So, these guys, we've been saying this last few days. There's reason to believe in this team. There's so many players here that I look at that give me optimism. I mean, I want to put... So, you look at Jath, Ryan, Cochrane, Reef, Parker, and Harrison, McGuan will take some time. McCarthy will take some time, but I'm sure he'll show some great signs. Di Mattia. Allen, I'm less excited about. I'm less excited about Allen than Di Mattia right now. Is that fair? Is that fair enough, guys? Is that harsh? On your list, had a huge VFL season. N25 has anyone seen? Sash, I've watched a great deal of number 25. Thank you. Yep, Bruno Di Mattia, number 25. Thank you. Sash, has anyone seen Cochrane play? I've pretty much watched every VFL game this season, and he really grew into the season. I thought he was a little bit shaky at the start, but was probably one of the more impressive, consistent players in that team and didn't look out of place. He had a great run. He's 6'6". I think he's going to be a player. And it's someone who we're probably the least optimistic about throughout the preseason. He was injured and Will Hayes was looking sexy and doing some eye-catching stuff at preseason. Charlie West, when Charlie West steals the show, can you blame us for forgetting about Joel Cochrane for a moment? But yes, definitely reason to be excited about Cochrane and see what he can do in the VFL. Alan needs. That's the question I'm going to ask. Sorry, that's the question I'm going to ask. So, start a poll. Who are you more optimistic about? Question mark. Alan, Di Mattia. There we go. I think that's a fair question. Godzilla really rates Parker. Alan over Di Mattia. Joel Cochrane is the next Nick Blakey. Can take my receipt. He's definitely got a nice tank for it. He's got the tank for it, doesn't he? But I just don't know if he's just as fast as... I don't think he's just as fast as Nick Blakey. And probably doesn't have the kick, the dissecting kick that Blakey has at full speed as well. But we'll see. He's only played 1 year at VFL level. We all know Steve can play if he's 100% dedicated and gives it his all, will be a good inclusion. I did genuine death, but not Malacca death. Premiership player next year death. Got you, Benny. Now you're forgiven, mate. You're forgiven. How about none of the above? Jeez. 55% of you are more optimistic about Di Mattia. The stream is boost my optimism for next season. Can't wait. That's what we're doing. That's what we got to do. I don't think we're being delusional. I think this is a good conversation. Yeah? I think it's fair. Matthew says, we need to trade Hill, gets paid $60K a month and takes 3 months off over a breakup. Is too much of a risk and too selfish. I mean, bro, come on. Matthew, come on, man. Like, he's still a kid. He's 24, 25. He's made a mistake. He needed some time away. Yes, it hurt us in the moment, but he'll pay us back. Were you saying the same about Dane Swan and Heath Shaw and Jordan DeGoey? Come on, bro. Turn it up. Shit call. Anthony, do we know yet if Mychek and Elliott will stay at Collingwood? Not too sure. Peter G was saying we'll find out after Copeland Trophy night. Nakos captain next year? Maybe. Nah, not next year, Nathan. Not next year. Di Mattia doesn't look like he has a damaging kick and looks like he can adjust to stabbing kicks. Pies, your message does not make sense. Pies 2324. I can't understand what you've said there. If McStay begins to show up, then losing Mychek is acceptable. Reserve some optimism for this guy, Jack Buller, coming from Sydney. And don't forget this man. Don't forget this kid, yeah? Why can't he be a Logan Morris? They're the same size. Why can't he have a similar impact to Kal Shadir? Jaden Stevenson, you really want him back? Maybe. This is a rolling list structure. Just giving you an idea for what can happen if these players go out. If we want to bring some of these players in. This is not set in stone. I'm not saying this is what it's going to be. This would be my start. This is simply just my starting point. I'll do a poll for Steve-O. Noah Howes needs a go. Boy can play. Yeah, he looks good. I think West is just ahead of him. But in the preseason, if you can impress, who knows? West is a tank. West is a tank. Weak draft this year as well. Should have taken Logan Morris over Harry Dimity. I mean, hindsight's 2020. Hindsight's 2020. Can't, we just don't really hit in the draft anymore, do we? In the national draft. Enough. West is a tank. Anything else trending on the tweeters? Bailey Humphrey is contracted to 2028. The Demons would want him if Petrarca leaves. Okay, what are they saying about this whole delisting? Let's have a read. Gone. Former da-da-da gone. Markov gone. Dean gone. It's pretty blunt, isn't it? Yeah, not much to read into there. First up, let's get him a trail run in the preseason before we condemn him. If we get an A-grade mid to help Nick, then it all falls into place next season. I mean, like, can Josh Dacos not be an A-grade midfielder? Can he not be an A-grade midfielder? Bo McCreary, I don't think would be an A-grade midfielder, but he'd be A-grade in some of the aspects of what a midfielder would encompass, right? Jay Stevo has no resilience, mentally weak. He definitely was over the course of his initial AFL career, but who's to say with the perspective that he's got this season being out of the game, who's to say he can't develop some mental fortitude and go again? I'm hoping Noah Howes has a good preseason, TBH. He's very young and looks like a mature body already. If it's backline or forward, I hope he finds his place down the line. Look, we keep doing well with the mid-season draftees. Rowan Steele, I mean, Jack Buller's coming from Sydney by way of a mid-season draft when he first came into the scene. Ash Johnson did well at times. Oleg Markov was a preseason supplementary period pick. McCreary was, although he came through the national draft, came through as a 19-year-old. So he was overlooked in the draft. Parker came into it as a rookie B. Coxie was a rookie. I'm just looking at other names here that came through a different means. Sadie, Billy, Allen, Demetia, Harrison. Long mid-season draft. Membry, delisted free agency. Like, look what our list is made up of. And a lot of it comes through trades and free agency and delisted free agency, preseason supplementary period. Oscar Steen, who's shown some great signs. He'll take over Mason Cox, no doubt, at some point. Lockie Schultz through the trade period. Ilary Smith, probably of all the players on our list right now, I think Smith is the one I'm least hopeful for. I don't see it in him right now at this point. Give Steve-O another go. Oh, Benny Bang, thanks for the 5 gifted Pies Footy memberships. Guys, by the way, just quickly, if you would like to support the channel by financial means, the best way to do that is through a membership for $5 a month. Just helps it go a little bit extra. And this is, in the end, guys, a full-time. I desire for this to be, my endeavor is for this to be a full-time job. So if you can support financially, great. If not, your presence will do just enough as well. Flanders from Suns, any takers? I think the word is he's going to Carlton, Mick. I think that's where he's going. Houston will be far better for next year. Or you just give him the Lockie Schultz treatment, right? First season, found it really difficult adjusting. Probably didn't expect it to be that difficult to adjust. Dan Houston being a 2-year All-Australian. A 2-time All-Australian. He probably thought it was just going to be a seamless transition. So that's a learning curve for Houston. And I think he has to go back into the back line and flourish there to allow other players to go into the midfield. Yeah, AA187. Yeah, we heard early in the stream. Charlie Dean, Oleg Markov, Finlay McRae, and Ash Johnson have been delisted. Flanders to Carlton or Melbourne. Flick, Pez, Houston, Pendles, and Howe. What do you mean, Judd? What do you mean Flick, Pez, Houston, Pendles, and Howe? What does that mean? Harvey Harrison will be a star. I bet the farm on it. Still, you missed the Victoria Park. Here he is. Do we even have a fishing rod? I like that. I like that. Butters should be our priority next year. Well, here's the reality, guys. If we're going for Butters, all right, here's another question. 55% of you were more optimistic about Allen than Demeter, by the way. Who would you take in free agency end of next year? Because you certainly can't get both. You can't have both. Ben King or Butters. You can't have both. It's one or the other. There's no way we have enough trade stock to get both of them to the club in the same year. So, with that in mind, I think you'd have to. I think you go for a Zach Butters over a Ben King, especially if West hits. Like, the big question mark is how well does Charlie West go next year? Silly question. Do you think Howe will be able to run the season out, or will it be like this season? Good question. Time will tell, James. The groin is a concern, but the good thing about our list, we basically got to the end of the season and essentially no one is injured going into the off-season. So, at least the starting point is going into the preseason, everyone will be healthy and have every opportunity to have an uninterrupted preseason, which is so crucial. King's shoulders worse than mine. Vutero, what does that mean, Manny? Vutero. Butters easily. It seems Charlie West kicking 200 next year. Go for both. Butters for sure. Seemingly Butters, yeah. I'm glad we agree again. Okay, King is a fine player. Butters is a machine. It's a machine. Buller, West, and Jamie looks a good forward line. Please, Charlie West, please hit. Please hit Charlie West. We need this. We need this, man. Elite midfielders are way harder to find. Oh, God. I don't know if that's entirely true, but an elite midfielder versus an elite key forward, you're going Butters, aren't you? You need to see what West and Howes do. Howes might develop faster than West. He's bigger. Good to have them competing. And that's probably the one thing Howes has over West. I mean, West he's not a small bloke himself, but you can definitely tell Noah Howes is a bigger body and he's taller. So potential for Howes to leapfrog him. Look, I'm not fussed either way. It's like you said, it's good competition for the both. And whoever is ready to rise to the occasion first, so be it. I'm glad whether it goes either way. West will be like Tracy at Freo. Or Tracy's a gun. Vutero means Butters there. That's his nickname. That's what I was asking. I figured it was a Greek word, Manny. You got to remember I'm half Greek, yeah? So I don't know every single word in the Greek dictionary. Is it Vutero or Vutero? Give me the syllables. How to play full forward next season, maybe. Both of these guys are under 20. Imagine the size of them at 25. Chol found not guilty. Fair enough. Fair enough, guys. It looked like a messy little... It was a bit of a tangle, I think they said, in that tackle. I think someone pushed or got... It was a double team or something. I don't know. Anyways, I'm not too bothered. Yeah, Vutero, but how do you pronounce it? Don't just give me the words. How would you pronounce it? We need midfielders as we are struggling or play McCreary and Jacos there personally. I agree. You start with McCreary and Josh Dacos, but I still think you'd need an elite mid at some point. Our list is not as wrecked as Corns thinks, but we have a bit of developing to do. That's right. We've got a lot of players in this bracket of what can they be? Like they're about to turn a corner. Let's see if they turn it and they hit the straight perfectly, or if they slide into the wall and crash upon turning. So that's the big watch next season. That will determine a lot about how we will look over the next 5 years, I feel. My luck. What do you say? Malaka, as long as your butso is Greek, don't worry about it. I think we have a huge issue connecting to our forwards, mainly our big forwards. McStay running patterns are awful. Mycheck is okay, and Elliott is perfect. So when we have players like Dacos asking, I think you have more to your message. Lions are playing Neil in the grand final. Huge. Good for them. Do you think Shooter can go into the midfield? Southeast Wolf, he did play in the midfield against Gold Coast in that second half. I think he maybe attended one or two centre bounces, but yeah, I don't think it's going to be any more than similar to a Bo. Sometimes if things aren't working out in the midfield, you have to try everything, and that's when you throw a Lockie Schultz in there. Scotty, here he is. Saw Frampters, McStay, Houston, and Braz at Orong Hotel today on my day off. Wanted to get around the boys and have a beer with them. Did ya? Did you? Shooter doesn't need to go to the mid. He's that high half forward. I think he's the perfect high half forward. You take a stab. Darren, see, thing is, like, why are we falling in love with a young player who's been delisted from Richmond? As much as I think he could potentially be on the list, he's not going to... I would not take Blight over May, specifically. Now, there's context. Context is important. May's only got a couple years left. If Blight hits, he could play another 10 years. But like I said, the reality is you're comparing Blight, who has been delisted at a fruitful age, and Stephen May is a dual All-Australian Premiership player. Yeah. What would we have to do to give up for Kerno? Can't see how we could possibly make it happen. Me either. YT channel. Someone brought up a good idea that Carlton are lacking outside players, so Lipinski could be one of those players, but that's just one piece to the puzzle. I think you have to give up much more for a Kerno. If I could write a scenario, we trade Bobby for first round draft pick and trade them for a Kerno, would say yes, please. Just don't think it's going to happen right now, is it? How about we turn Shooter into defender? He defends anyways. He defends from the front. We're going to need 3 or 4 players come up into the senior side. Otherwise, we're going slightly backwards. That's what we need to see next year. May just a quick hit like Brian Lake was for the Hawks. And he could be Jordan Ruffhead, but he's obviously better than Jordan Ruffhead. He could be Lyndon Dunn. He's better than Lyndon Dunn. So that's why I don't mind this name. What about the Italian dude from Caminiti, Stewie. Caminiti, yep. That will be a watch. We are linked to Caminiti. We'll find out tomorrow. So Ungettable is typically on a Wednesday. So we'll have a close listen to if there's any developments around Caminiti and the Collingwood Football Club. It's Manny's favourite show, if you didn't know. Benny would take May plays, ends up. We might have to go a little backwards and be back in contention a year or two later. Geelong did it too. We've got 2 shovels ready. Shit kicker, no fucking way. He's a shit kicker. Relax there, cigar. Relax. Manny on his donkey. He's got a cigar in one hand, riding the donkey, and he's got his phone in the other, listening to the live stream in Lesvos right now. There you go. Blame Peter Dacos. He should have had 4 boys, not 2. Just got told Mitchell hasn't been delisted, but he's looking at joining another club. So yeah, he hasn't been delisted. He's out of contract. We know he wants to play on for another year. Has he been told to look elsewhere? Is that what you're saying? Is that what you're saying? What about going for Ollie Henry again? He can't get a game at Geelong. I don't think there's any world where that happens. Delisted Jeremy Finlayson could be a punt? Nah. No, thank you. Mitchell is from WA. I don't think he'd go to West Coast. There's no way. West Coast are going in a different direction. It would make 0 sense for West Coast to bring in Tom Mitchell. Maybe for, you know what? Maybe for a year. Maybe. I don't know what their midfield looks like right now, so it's hard to talk. Malaka Finnere. What do you mean Finn? Finlay McRae? What are you talking about? New trade show called Shit Kicker, hosted by Manny. Make Shooter Ruck. Relax, Teresa. Get off the Zazas. Imagine they make more Imagine May and Moore working. It's there. You couldn't put two players on either end of the spectrum with two completely different personalities than Stephen May and Darcy Moore in the same backline. But I'm here for it. Would you keep Darcy Moore as captain? Yeah, suppose so. He'll captain for another year or two, I think, and then Nick Dacos will be our captain. Yeah, guys, that was good fun. We will be here again tomorrow at 6 p.m. for more off-season chat. So, guys, once again, if you're new to the channel, please hit the subscribe button, and we'll see you tomorrow for more chat. A really good conversations tonight. I appreciate you. And as always, ladies and gentlemen, go Pies.